We go ahead and get into past optimal lineups. I used to do this in my previews before, but in the interest of time, I wanted to cut it up where, you know, it didn't take so long. But in the channel updates here at the end of the video, I am going to go over some exciting things that will make me making segments out of this long video easier. So anyways, when we look at 2022, our optimal lineup only left $400 on the table. Our GPP winning lineup only left $500 on the table. And each one of those lineups started with Cam Smith, John Rahm, Matt Jones, Patrick Cantlay, and Daniel Berger. If you look at the price tags, we got 11K, 9K, 8K, 8K, and flat 6K. So both the optimal as well as the GPP winning lineup started with those 5 golfers. Now the optimal used Cam Davis at $6,200, whereas the GPP winning lineup used Joel Damon at $6,100. Here's the thing to remember. This goes by DraftKings points, and DraftKings points includes finishing position. But when you get outside of 10th place, it gets grouped. We're like 12th and 13th place is X amount of points, yada, yada, yada. 20th to 40th place, or 20th to something place, 20th to 25th place is 1 point difference between 25th to 30th place. And it's 1 point difference from there, from 30th to 35th and 35th to 40th. So you're only missing out on 4 points in this range when it comes to finishing place. So it all depends on DraftKings points, birdies, eagles, that kind of thing. If we take a look at Joel Damon, he scored 100.5 points at the $6,100 price range or price tag. Cam Davis scored 133. So there were basically 30 points between them. Just kind of crazy. So that means there's probably a little bit that you could work with. We just find anyone that's over 6,100, somewhere between 61 and 65. So Stuart Sink could have been in there, another flat 6K golfer. That would have helped out your lineup. Optimal lineup, we can only work with $400 from 61. So it's 65 or lower. So that was it. At least that's what I see. Yeah, I don't see anyone else. It's notable to see Victor Hovland down here. He was a 10K golfer. He scored 101 points. Oh, Garrett Kigo. Yeah, you could have selected Garrett Kigo. $6,400, 112 points. So it's showing you last year you wanted 2 6K golfers and random guys at that. 2021, your optimal lineup only left $600 on the table. And your winning lineup, your GPP winning lineup, left only $200 on the table. Again, another limited field event, not leaving a lot of money on the table. So this one, we start with a 10K golfer. Let me double check this. So we have, so your optimal and GPP winning lineup started with the same 5 golfers once again. 10K, 3 8Ks, a 7, and a 6 for the optimal. Actually, let's talk about those 5. A 10, 3 8s, and 1 7. Both the optimal as well as the winning or GPP winning lineup use those 5 golfers. Then the GPP winning lineup use a $6,900 golfer, and the optimal use a $6,500 golfer. So only 1 6K golfer in either the optimal or the GPP winning lineup in 2021. Now in 2020, let's hide this. Both the optimal as well as the GPP winning lineup were the same thing. So congratulations to the winner of the $8 GPP winning lineup. They're one and the same. And again, starts with an 11K golfer, but then it goes to 2 9K golfers, a low 7, and 2 6K golfers. So it's kind of showing you the different ways you can make lineups. Like I usually say, start 10 9 8, 7 7 6, and then make 2 substitutions. So what I mean by that is you follow that 10 9 8, 7 7 6. We could switch one of those 9s down to an 8, and maybe one of those 7s back up to an 8. That way you get 3 8s, no 9s, a 10, a 7, and a 6. So hopefully that made sense. I wish I had a graphic to show you that. Or we start with a 10 9 8, 7 7 6. We substitute one of the 8s to go up to a 9, and we can substitute one of the 7s going down to the 6, and that's what you have right there. So hopefully that makes sense. Start with your 10, 9, 8, 7, 7, 6 template, and then switch those numbers around. You get a max up to two substitutions. You drop a 10 down to a 9 and move a 7 up to an 8 if you wanted to. So you have 2 9s, 2 8s, 1 7, 1 6. You do line up like that. But it's kind of proving out to be you want a 10K golfer in your lineup. It's also notable that there are probably more 10K golfers in this field than there are in, or I should say in the 2020 or the 2020 field as there are in the 2023 field. Tongue twister. Remember, there's only 2 10K golfers this week, whereas I think there are probably like 4. We have 1, 2, 3, 4. Yep, that's it. I only see 4. So keep that in mind. If we go to 2019, we do have an optimal lineup here. I do not have the GPP winning lineup, but if you take a look, we're only leaving $600 on the table. We start out with 2 8Ks and a 10K golfer, 7, another 8 and a 6. So let's say that over again. We have a 10, 3 8s, a 7 and a 6. So Chad, this might be the optimal time to pepper the 8K range. Going to 2018, we also have an optimal lineup that only leaves $400 on the table. Starts with a 10K, 9K, 8K, 8K, 6 and 6. So you're seeing the differences in lineups. But again, if you start 10, 9, 8, 7, 7, 6, make 2 substitutions. In this one, we have a 10, 9, 8. But then we have another 8. As you can tell, the 2 7s, so the 10, 9, 8, 7, 7, 6 method, we substitute one of those 7s up to Pat Perez, and then say we already have a 6K, and we substitute one of the other 7s down to a 6K. Does that make sense? So there you go. You have it there. 10, 9, 8, 8, 6, 6. So that works out there. Do we have one in 2017? We do not. So price tags from 2018 and on. So you can tell every single GPP winning lineup, optimal lineup, had at least one 10K golfer in it and at least one 6K golfer in it. Kind of what Chad Eckert's been talking about on Twitter. If you didn't see our strategy video from a while ago, absolutely everything we're talking about there as well. So those are your past optimal lineups. And that's kind of how you can think about constructing your rosters this week.